Hi guys, in this video we will be looking at geometric sequences. So in this video we'll be looking at the basics of geometric sequences, and this video is aimed at helping those who might be struggling to understand the basics of geometric sequences. So with geometric sequences, the first thing that you need to know is the general term of a geometric sequence. And I have indicated here on my notes that a general term or the general formula for a geometric sequence is given by Tn is equal to A multiplied by R all to the power of n minus 1. This is the general term of a geometric sequence. So when you are asked to give the general term or to give the general formula of a geometric sequence, it should follow this format. Now on the formula, we have A there. Now the A is the first term of the sequence. So you'll be given a sequence. So the first term on that sequence, that will be your A. And then we also have R there. Now this R, it's a new constant that we are coming across in grade 12, but R simply stands for the constant ratio. Remember that in arithmetic sequences, we had a constant difference. Now here, we are no longer dealing with the difference, we are dealing with the ratio. So the constant ratio is given by T2 over T1, or you can use T3 over T2, or you can use T4 over T3 depending on what you are given. Remember that with arithmetic sequences, we used to say that D is equal to T2 minus T1. Now in this case, we are no longer subtracting, we are dividing. That is the difference between the difference and the ratio. And if you understand what A is on your general term, and you understand what R is on the general term, and you understand how to find R on a geometric sequence, then you are halfway to understanding what geometric sequences are and understanding how to work with them. So here I also have an example. In my example, I am given a sequence, and the sequence is 5, 10, and 20. And then there are two questions that we have here. I'm going to do these questions so that you can get an idea of what you are supposed to do when you are working with a geometric sequence. So question 1 says that we must determine the constant ratio. Remember, I told you that the constant ratio, you just say T2 divided by T1, or you say T3 divided by T2. Okay, so in this case, we're going to say R is equal to T2 over T1. Now, if we look at our sequence, our T2, our term number 2 is 10. Therefore, this is going to be 10 over, and our term number 1 is 5. 10 over 5. And then when you punch that onto your calculator, it is going to be simplified into 2 over 1, which is the same as 2. Then what does this tell us? This tells us that our constant ratio is 2. Or if you want to confirm, you can also come back and say R is equal to T3 over T2, which is going to give you your T3 is 20, and then your T2 is 10, and then your R is going to be 2. So in both instances, your R is 2. Therefore, you have done the right thing. And that is how you find the constant ratio in a geometric sequence. And then let's do number 2. In number 2, they're saying write down the next two terms of the sequence. Okay, so we're given term number 1, number 2, and number 3. So what they want is term number 4 and term number 5. And the question is, how are you going to get them? So we go back to our sequence. We can see that term number 1 is 5. and then we have 10, and then we have 20. What did we do? So from 5 to 10, what did we do? We multiplied 5 by 2, and then it gave us 10. We multiplied 5 by our constant ratio, and then it gave us 10. And then with 10, we also multiplied it by 2, and then it gave us 20. We multiplied 10 by the constant ratio to give us 20. Therefore, if we are looking for the next term after 20, we must multiply 20 by our constant ratio, which is 2. Therefore, we're going to say 20 multiplied by 2, and you don't need a calculator for that. It is going to give you what? It is going to give you 40. This is term number 4. And then when you're looking for term number 5, you're going to take 40 and multiply it by the constant ratio. And it is going to give you what? 40 times 2, it is going to give you what? 80. And that is how you get your next two terms. So what you would have noticed here is that with a geometric sequence, when I'm looking for a term that follows another, I just take that term and then I multiply it by the constant ratio. And that is how we do geometric sequences. That is how we work with geometric sequences. Just understand what R is and what it does to the whole sequence and how to find it. If you can understand that, then you are good with geometric sequences.